As the winter months approach, it becomes increasingly challenging to avoid slipping into seasonal depression or seeing everything in a negative light. During the day, you find yourself longing for the sun hidden behind layers of clouds. At night, you desperately wish for a light switch to brighten the sky again. "I miss summer," you whisper quietly as you take the bus early in the morning to get to work. But as the days grow shorter, the darkness and cold ignite an anxious feeling within you. You might find yourself sad and exhausted by the end of the year, thinking about all the things you wanted to do but didn't after all. I'm here to tell you that you are more than your disruptive thoughts and feelings. You are indeed capable of feeling joy and confidence, even during the most difficult times of the year. Because being happy is a choice. I'm sure that we have all heard many motivational speakers say this by now, but I personally never really understood what it actually means, as if happiness were just a button I needed to push. How am I supposed to be happy when I don't feel like it? I'm not in charge of my feelings, right? For a long time, emotions felt like they were happening to me, like I had no control over them. This led me to wait for joy to randomly find me. Of course, some situations impact us in such a way that we immediately feel some sort of feeling as a reaction to it. But in a lot of cases, you can actually choose to not get agitated, upset, or sad about it. It took me some time to realize that my own thoughts actually influence the way I feel. And while we cannot control every emotion, we can control how we respond to them. For example, our thoughts play a bigger role in our feelings than we might realize. Psychologists have found that many emotions are tied to the way we interpret situations, not just the situations themselves. This means we have some form of control over negative thoughts. When I catch myself thinking, "I'll never get through this winter," I try to pause and ask myself, is that really true? Or am I just feeling tired and overwhelmed today? Often, simply noticing and questioning these thoughts can change how you feel. Another thing that has helped me is practicing gratitude. I used to roll my eyes on this idea, but even on the darkest days, there are small things to appreciate, like a warm cup of tea or a kind word from a stranger. Writing down just a few positive moments each day can help shift your focus away from what feels wrong to what feels right. And finally, I've learned to show myself some compassion. It's okay to feel low sometimes. Instead of blaming myself for not feeling happy, I've started to treat myself with the kindness I'd offer a friend. This doesn't make the winter sun come back faster, but it does help me to feel less alone with my emotions. So instead of beating myself up, I question what I would tell a friend. And sometimes it just helps to let out all the sadness and anger, not to repress it, but to really feel it. It's just important not to get lost in it, because negativity can become a habit. This doesn't make it any less stressful. On the contrary, it gets heavy and painful. But sooner or later you might get sick of it and finally decide to change something and concentrate on the good. Happiness might not be a button you can push, but it's also not completely out of your reach. It's in the small, daily decisions to challenge negative thoughts, notice the good, and be gentle with yourself. Even in the darkest moments, you can create your own light.